Tonight, while your body is resting, a silent process could be underway, one that compromises your future well-being without you even realizing it. And if you've crossed the 60-year mark, there is an overwhelmingly high probability that you are engaging in at least one of 7 nighttime habits that new studies are directly linking to serious complications. Recently, at a longevity conference, Dr. Laura Rodriguez, a specialist with decades of experience in cardiovascular health, shared a worrying statistic. A significant number of cardiovascular incidents in older adults occurred during sleep from causes that were for the most part preventable. But this is where the story takes an unexpected turn. We're not talking about the well-known causes, like sleep apnea or the side effects of certain medications. There is something much more subtle, something that 90% of people do every night, unknowingly creating the perfect scenario for a systemic collapse. I am about to reveal the 7 most dangerous nighttime habits for people over 60, but I warn you, what you're about to hear could completely transform your bedtime routine. And the 7th habit, that's the one rarely mentioned in conventional medical consultations. It seems the system prefers to focus on treating symptoms rather than eradicating the root cause. But that narrative, for you, ends today. Before we dive in, let me tell you the story of Charles, a 68-year-old man. Charles was the pillar of his family, full of energy. He played with his grandchildren, walked every morning, and his medical checkups were flawless. His blood pressure was the envy of men 20 years younger. One Thursday night, he went to bed and simply didn't wake up. The official report cited natural causes, but his son, a paramedic, couldn't accept it. Driven by grief, he reviewed every detail of his father's life, and what he discovered was chilling. Charles, unknowingly, was making 4 of the 7 mistakes I'm about to detail, habits so ingrained in our culture that no one would suspect their lethal potential. This story, unfortunately, repeats itself more often than we can imagine. Families are left with unanswered questions, but today, you will get those answers. Now, let's get to it. These are the first 5 habits that are weakening your defenses while you sleep. The first habit is the thermal trap. A very high percentage of older adults sleep in a room with the wrong temperature. This isn't just about comfort. When your bedroom is warmer than 72 degrees Fahrenheit or 22 degrees Celsius, your heart is forced to work extra hard all night to regulate your body temperature. With age, this thermoregulation ability decreases. The heart becomes overloaded, blood pressure fluctuates dangerously, and the system enters a constant state of stress. Dr. Rodriguez has observed in her practice a direct correlation between warm rooms and nocturnal cardiac incidents. The second habit is the nightly hydration dilemma, and this will surprise you. Drinking a glass of water right before bed, advice that many follow, can be counterproductive after 60. The problem isn't the water itself, but the timing. When you drink fluids 1 to 2 hours before sleeping, your cardiovascular system, which no longer has the same efficiency as it did in your youth, struggles to process the increased blood volume during deep sleep phases. This can lead to cardiac overload and arrhythmias. Records show that many sudden nocturnal events occurred in people who had consumed fluids abundantly right before sleeping. The third habit is the position that compresses life. Over 70% of people sleep on their right side. After 60, this habit can be detrimental. When you sleep on your right side, you put pressure on the inferior vena cava, the main highway that returns blood to the heart. Your heart has to fight against that resistance for hours. The most critical time is between 3 and m, when your cortisol levels are at their lowest and your body is most vulnerable. The heart, already stressed by your position, is at its most fragile point. The fourth habit is ignored chronopharmacology. If you take medication for blood pressure, diabetes, or cholesterol, it's very likely that the timing is not optimal. Most doctors, out of routine, instruct you to take your medication in the morning. However, studies in chronopharmacology and emerging science suggest that blood pressure medications taken in the morning can have a residual effect that causes a dangerous drop in pressure hypotension in the early morning when pressure already naturally decreases. This can deprive the brain of oxygen and have fatal consequences. The fifth habit is the myth of the insignificant dinner. You've been told your whole life to eat a light dinner, but a dinner that is too small is a critical mistake after 60. When you do and consume enough quality calories, your glucose levels can plummet dangerously during the night. Your body interprets this as an emergency and releases stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline to compensate. This nocturnal hormonal storm puts immense strain on your cardiovascular system. It's a violent jolt to your heart while you are unconscious. But hold on for a moment. I know what you're thinking. You're reviewing your routine, feeling a knot in your stomach, and it's normal to feel a mix of unease and relief. Unease from recognizing these patterns in yourself, and relief because you're finally understanding why. I want you to take a breath. The mere fact that you're here means you have the power to change it. Each of these habits has a direct and simple solution that I will give you at the end. But first, we must expose the two real culprits, the final two habits that amplify all the others. Without knowing them, any other adjustments you make will be incomplete. The sixth habit has been implicated in more morning incidents than any other factor. And the seventh is hidden in plain sight in 97% of bedrooms. Get ready, because we are getting to the heart of the matter. The moment of truth has arrived. The sixth habit is the storm of the abrupt awakening. We've been taught that waking up early is a virtue, but after 60, forcing yourself to wake up before your body is ready can be a trigger. Your circadian rhythm changes with age. The natural peak of cortisol, the hormone that prepares you for the day, occurs between 6 and a.m. If your alarm goes off at 6, you interrupt this process and create hormonal chaos. Your blood pressure skyrockets, your heart rate suddenly accelerates, and your arteries, which are less flexible with age, suffer a shock. The vast majority of morning heart attacks occur precisely in this window of vulnerability. And now, the seventh and final habit, the one that kept me up at night during my research, the one that's present in almost every home, is the silent electromagnetic pollution. Your cell phone on the nightstand, the Wi-Fi router blinking in the corner, the television on standby. They all emit low-frequency electromagnetic fields. Recent studies, especially in Europe, have revealed that with age, the body's natural protective barrier against this radiation weakens during sleep. This constant exposure interferes with the delicate electrical impulses of your heart, especially its natural pacemaker. During REM sleep, when your system is most susceptible, these waves can cause microarrhythmias that an aging heart cannot always manage. A long-term Swedish study found that people who slept within 10 feet 3 meters of these devices had a significantly higher risk of sudden nocturnal death. Now that you know the 7 deadly habits, here are the clear and direct solutions you can apply starting tonight. For the temperature, keep your room between 65 and 68 degrees Fahrenheit, or 18 and 20 degrees Celsius. Use a thermometer to be sure. For hydration, drink plenty of water during the day, but drastically reduce your intake 3 hours before bed. Have your last large glass of water no later than p.m. For the position, train your body to sleep on your left side or on your back. Place a pillow between your knees if you sleep on your side to align your spine and hips. For medications, this point is crucial. Do not change anything on your own. At your next appointment, ask your doctor about chronopharmacology studies and whether taking your blood pressure medication at night could be more beneficial and safer for you. For dinner, don't go to bed hungry. Your dinner should include quality protein and slow-release complex carbohydrates like vegetables. This will keep your glucose level stable. For waking up, if your lifestyle allows it, try to wake up naturally, without the jolt of an alarm. If you must use one, set it for as late as possible, ideally after a.m. For radiation, Create a sleep sanctuary. Turn your phone off at night, or better yet, leave it to charge in another room. Unplug your Wi-Fi router before bed and disconnect any non-essential electronic devices in your room. Today, you've discovered that the quality of your sleep after 60 is a science. You've learned about the 7 nighttime habits, the temperature, late hydration, sleeping position, medication timing, insufficient dinners, abrupt awakenings, and electromagnetic pollution. I'm Dr. Laura Rodriguez. If this information has been useful to you, if it has ignited a light of warning or hope in you, I ask you to do something simple. Give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. It's not just to support our work, but to create a community dedicated to living longer and better based on science and prevention. You now have the knowledge. The decision to use it is yours. Implement these changes. Your future may depend on it. Because, as we learned from Charles's story, nocturnal oversights don't give warnings, but you now have the opportunity to prevent them.